Welcome everyone to class today. Today is our revision day. So in school, each of the students printed off all of their writing prompts and used them along with some post-it notes to record some revision strategies that they could use with each of these papers if they were to spend time doing them again. Purpose of the lesson today is to learn what those strategies are and how they can make your writing better. Our lesson today is divided into 3 parts. For academic notes, we're going to be learning about the ePortfolio, which is the course final. You will be working on the ePortfolio periodically throughout the semester. I will give you some time in class. If you are unsure about the ePortfolio, Salt Lake Community College has labs available for you to go ask questions and to get computer assistance on campus. Then we're going to review any questions you have about your observation essay that you should be working on. Remember that essay is due 1 week from today. And finally, we're going to learn about different parts of revision and how to use them to become better writers. So with your academic note handouts, I'd like you to record some information today, answering the 3 questions on the right-hand side. As you watch each of these 3 videos, record information that help you learn more about the ePortfolio. All of them are short. They're about 3 to 4 minutes long. The first video will walk you through what is an ePortfolio. The second one is why Salt Lake Community College uses it. And the third one is how do you set up an account for your own ePortfolio. This year, we will be using Digication since it is easy to use and is the one that the district allows you to use. In the past, my students have always used Weebly, but we need to pick a new one because they no longer let us use Weebly. Anyway, watch each of these videos and learn the process of obtaining an account for your Digication ePortfolio. Sometime between now and a week from Tuesday, you will actually set up your ePortfolio. I just need to tell you one thing that's important. There are 2 ways to do that. The easier way is through Canvas. However, I set up my Canvas at Harriman High School rather than through Salt Lake Community College. So you have to use the second strategy, which is just 2 or 3 extra steps at the beginning, and you'll learn them quickly. So the third video that you watched on the previous slide walks you through how to get to those Digication account through ePortfolio. So please record those notes in your academic notes today so that when you get ready or when you work on your ePortfolio at all times, you can refer back to those notes to learn how to get back to your account. That took about 20 minutes of class today. The next part of class, I wanted to make sure everyone understood the requirements for the observation essay. Remember, your 4 essays will end up being 70% of your grade for the semester. So this observation essay that's due in 1 week is really important. Please refer to the rubric in your resource handouts. Please review the sample professional and student models. Here are links to those student models again, and see what good writers did to create an observation essay. The main part of class today was to talk about revision. I started with this picture here. I've used it for different things for quite some time and over the years, and I finally realized a year ago that there is another person in the truck. I'd always been fixated on the man's eyes and his facial expressions, that I never realized that someone else was also suffering from the Great Depression in that vehicle. I show this image because it's a good analogy to think about our writing. A lot of times when we write something, we are one and done with that writing assignment. And we can always go back and find lots of different things we can work on with our papers, even ones that we get 100 points on. To illustrate that further, I have 3 pictures that you see quite often. This first one is an image of either a young woman or an old woman. And depending on how you look at the image, you can see either or. This next one is an image, if you just look at the black, you will see a man playing a saxophone. But if you weave the black part of the image with the white, you will see a picture of a woman. This one I don't even like to look at because I can never get a correct answer. Your purpose is to figure out how many legs there are, and you'll notice your eyes jump back and forth with where the legs are in the image. So revision is a lot like that. Revision is where we relook at something and find something new, a better way to say something. This quote is so important. I love the line in it where it says that this is where good writing turns into great writing. Very few students in a college essay can write a first draft and get an A on it. Very few, even great writers. Getting good grades in college papers requires a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I always tell the students that you're really not writing until you are revising. So if you were to take 100% of the time and divide it out, most high school students would say that their first draft is 60-70%, if not even more, whereas professional writers and college writers, 60 to 70 to 80% of the time would be in revising. This analogy works well. Each of you have written 5 previous prompts, and the students printed them in the labs today, so I had them pull out a prompt where they said something, but was really only the tip of the iceberg. I would like you to look at one of your prompts where you feel that you've done that, where there's so much more possibilities of things you could say instead of what you did say, and take out a sticky note, and on that sticky note, if you could go back and redo this prompt again, what would you say to get to something that is more meaningful or in-depth? Write that on the sticky note and put it on the prompt that it fits. With this slide, there is also a video. It lasts about an hour, but there's a portion in the video that is about 5 minutes long where a couple of professional writers, Amy Ton and Maxine Hong Kingston, talk about how they approach revision and what they've learned with their own writing as professional writers with the revision stage. On this slide, there are 2 things that I'm going to have you do. The first one is to open up Lisa Bickmore's article that is published in our Pressbook handbook. You can click on the link on this page and find it. I want all of you to read. There are a whole bunch of strategies you can use in this article for ways to revise. I'd like you to pick a strategy and then go back to another prompt that you have written with that strategy in mind. Would you write on a sticky note all of the ways that you could use that strategy to make that prompt better than where it is right now? These other bullets are important, but I really want you to look at the last one on this slide. Studies show that the best way to learn to write is to rewrite. That's where we learn to be better writers. It's not by writing drafts. On the slide, there are some other bullets. Please read through them. And then move on to this slide. So this one requires you to get 4 additional Post-it notes, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You're going to pick the essay that you liked, that you feel is the best writing, and then on your sticky note, why is it the best? What is the potential strength of this piece if you were to spend more time with the essay? The next one is to pick the essay that you actually enjoyed writing the most, and why was it you enjoyed that topic. The third one was what you did not enjoy writing, and you don't really want to spend any more time on it because the topic itself didn't appeal to you. I think that's an important concept to remember. A lot of times students, like in research papers, will write a draft and they get into it and have spent several days, even a week of time, but they don't like their topic. And so they think they have to stick with it for the next 3 weeks rather than restarting and coming up with a topic that they enjoy much more. The last one is the one that you feel needs the most major revision. And what would you do to this piece if you had a couple hours of time? Now you'll notice with some of these sticky notes, you're going to end up with a few of them on the same prompt, which is fine. The word revision is not editing. The top part of the slide talks about internal revision. This is the hard stuff, and this is where I want you to spend the majority of your time. If you look at the most rubrics for this class, about 70% of your draft is making sure the internal part of the essay is well done. So you can pick some of those and focus on it between now and Thursday when your observation essay is due. I always use the analogy that you don't want to wallpaper or paint a room if you're going to knock out the wall. And to me, the top part of this slide is knocking out walls, whereas the bottom part is making it look nice, a little bit better on the page. Always use external revision at the end after your internal or content is well done. This slide discusses the same thing, but in a hierarchy. Most high school students will start at the bottom and go up. I want you guys, whenever you're revising in this class, to start at the top and go down. This is a really good book called Elements of Style. It was actually published about 100 years ago, but it goes through mistakes that people make and how to make sentences better, how to make sure your grammar's better. You can watch this video and get some insights towards being more concise. This is an example of the importance of a comma. On the left, of course, without the comma, you get a certainly different picture than the one with the comma. On the right, the bullet or the bumper sticker. This was actually a billboard that they put up throughout the state of Utah in 2002, and they left out the comma, and it ended up costing the state about over $1 million to redo all the billboards and all the resources they were sending out to countries and corporations to advertise Utah before of the Olympics. The original did not have a comma after pretty, and so you were telling your readers, or they were telling the readers, that the state was just okay rather than pretty and great. This is a resource I want you to come back to all the time in this class. On the left-hand side, there are 3 websites that help you answer just about any grammar issue that you might have, and all of us have our own. So rather than having units of grammar, use this site to find answers to. For example, one that I would like to review is, when do I spell numbers in words versus use the numerical form? The rules have changed over the years, and they actually change whether or not you're in newspaper style or academic style. So I get a little bit nervous when I'm doing that with students' essays, and I need to use these sites to find the answer to that question. So whatever question you have, make sure that you use those sites to find the answers. On the left or on the right-hand side, these are things that drive me insane. You want it to keep me happy, so make sure that you do not make those errors. The active and passive voice is another thing that drives me insane. Finally, I only have a few seconds left, so I'm quickly going through this. Your rough draft will be due on Tuesday. You need to bring a hard copy with you. In class, you are going to be revising your work with classmates, getting it better, because the final draft is due and to turn it in on Thursday, the 24th. So that's it, and I have 10 seconds to spare, so I'm going to stop and wish you guys a great weekend. Please stay caught up with us. Thank you.